Yes? Well, of course I'm still here. Because I've got this Open University woman coming, haven't I? Well, of course I told you. Well, you shouldn't have prepared dinner, should you? Because I definitely remember saying I'd be late. Yes, I probably shall go to the pub afterwards. I shall need to go to the pub afterwards. I shall need to wash away the memory of some stupid woman's attempts to get into the mind of Henry James, or whoever it is we're supposed to be studying on this course. Oh, why did I ever take it on? Yes, I probably did take it on to pay for the booze. Well, what is it? Well, leave it in the oven. Look, if you are trying to induce in me some sense of guilt over the prospect of a burnt dinner, you should have prepared something other than lamb and ratatouille, shouldn't you? Because, darling, I like my lamb done to the point of abuse. And even I know that ratatouille can't be burnt. Darling, you could incinerate ratatouille and it still wouldn't burn. Yes, I promise. Just a couple of pints. 4. Oh, look, there's someone at the door. I'll have to go. What do you mean, am I determined to go to the pub? I don't need determination to get me into a pub. Come in. Yes, I promise. Yes. Bye. That's it, just hop off and put your head in the oven. Come in.
I'm coming in, aren't I? It's that stupid bleeding handle on the door. You want to get it fixed?
Yes, well, I suppose I always mean to.
Well, that's no good, always meaning to, is it? You should get on with it. Well, one of these days you'll be shouting, come in, and it'll go on forever. Because the poor sod on the other side won't be able to get in. And you won't be able to get out.
You are...
What am I?
Bob.
What?
Now you are...
I'm a what? That's a nice picture, isn't it?
Yes, I suppose it is nice.
It's very, erotic.
Well, I haven't looked at it for about 10 years, but yes, I suppose it is.
There's no suppose about it. Look at those tits. Is it supposed to be erotic? I mean, when he painted it, do you think he wanted to turn people on?
Probably.
I bet he did, you know. You don't paint pictures like that just so that people can admire the brushstrokes, do you?
No, you're probably right.
This was the pornography of its day, wasn't it? It's sort of like men only, isn't it? Only in those days they had to pretend it wasn't erotic, so they made it religious, didn't they? Do you think it's erotic?
I think it's very beautiful.
I didn't ask you if it was beautiful.
Yes, but the term beautiful sums up all my feelings about that painting, including the fact that, yes, it is erotic.
Do you get a lot like me?
Oh.
Do you get a lot of students like me?
Not exactly, no.
I was dead surprised when they took me, you know. I don't suppose they would have done if it had been the proper university. The Open University's different, isn't it?
Well, my experience of it is about as much as yours. This is the first OU work I've done.
Do you need the money?
I do, as a matter of fact.
Oh, it's terrible these days, the money, isn't it? You know, with the inflation and that. You work for the ordinary university, don't you? You know, with the real students. The Open University's different, isn't it?
Well, it is supposed to embrace a more comprehensive studentship, yes.
Degrees for dishwashers.
Would you like to sit down?
No? Can I smoke?
Tobacco?
Yeah. Here, do you want one?
Oh, I love one.
Well, have one.
Oh, I don't smoke. I made a promise not to smoke.
Well, I won't tell anyone.
Promise?
On my oath as an ex-brownie. I hate smoking on my own, and everyone seems to have packed up these days. They're all afraid of getting cancer. but they're all cowards.
Are they?
Yeah. You've got to challenge death and disease. You know, I read this poem about fighting death.
Ah, Dylan Thomas.
No, Roger McGough. It's about this old man who runs away from the hospital and goes out on the ale. He gets pissed and he stands in the street shouting and challenging death to come out and fight. It's dead good.
Yes. I don't believe I know the piece you mean.
Oh, bring you the book. It's great.
Thank you.
You probably won't think it's any good.
Why?
It's the sort of poetry you can understand.
Ah, I see. Can I offer you a drink?
Why not?
Scotch?
You want to be careful with that stuff. Kills your brain cells.
But you'll have one.
Yeah, all right. Probably have a job finding my brain.
Water?
Yeah, all right. Hey, what's this like?
Ah, Howard's Inn.
Yeah? Sounds filthy, doesn't it? E.M. Foster.
Forster.
Oh, yeah. What's it like?
Well, borrow it, read it.
I'll look after it. I'll pack the course in, I'll post it to you.
Pack it in, but why should you want to do that?
No, I just might. Might decide it was a soft idea.
Cheers. But if you've already contemplated packing it in, why did you enroll in the first place?
Because I want to know.
What do you want to know?
Everything.
Everything. That's rather a lot, isn't it? Where would you like to start?
I'm a student now, aren't I? I'll have to do exams, won't I?
Yes, eventually.
Well, I'll have to learn all about it, won't I? Yeah. It's like you sit there, don't you? You know, watching the ballet or the opera on the telly. And you call it rubbish, because that's what it looks like, because you don't understand. So you switch it off and you say, that's fucking rubbish.
Do you?
I do. But I don't want to. I want to see. You don't mind me swearing, do you?
Not at all.
Do you swear?
Never stop.
Oh, you see, the educated classes know it's only words, don't they? It's only the masses who don't understand. I do it to shock them sometimes. You know, when I'm in the hairdressers, that's what I wear. I'll say something like, oh, I'm really fucked. You know, dead loud. Doesn't half cause a fuss.
Yes, I'm sure.
But it doesn't cause any sort of fuss with educated people, does it? Because they know it's only words, and they don't worry. But these stuck-up idiots that I meet, I mean, they think they're royalty just because they don't swear. And I wouldn't mind, but it's the aristocracy that swears more than anyone, isn't it? I mean, they're effing and blinding all day long, aren't they? It's all pass me the fucking grouse with them. But you can't tell them that round our way. It's not their fault. They can't help it. But sometimes I hate them. God, what's it like to be free?
Ah, now there's a question. Another drink.
Yeah, if I got some other tutor, I wouldn't have stayed.
What sort of other tutor?
You know, someone who objected to swearing.
Well, how did you know that I wouldn't object?
I didn't. I was just testing you.
Yes, you're doing rather a lot of that, aren't you?
Oh, it's what I do. You know when I'm nervous?
And how am I scoring so far?
Oh, very good. 10 out of 10 go to the top of the class and collect a gold star. I love this room. Oh, I love that window. Do you like it?
What?
The window.
Oh, I very rarely consider it, actually. I sometimes feel like throwing something through it.
What?
A student, usually.
Probably. Mad you, aren't you?
Probably.
Aren't you supposed to be interviewing me?
Do I need to?
I talk too much, don't I? I know I talk a lot. I don't when I'm at home, I hardly ever talk when I'm there. But I don't often get a chance to talk to someone like you. To talk at you. Do you mind?
Would it bother you if I did? I don't mind.
What does assonance mean? Don't laugh at me.
No. Assonance, well, it's a form of rhyme. Now, what's an example? Do you know Yeats?
The Wine Lodge.
Yeats the poet. Well, there's a poem by Yeats called The Wild Swans of Coolby. And in it, he rhymes the word swan with the word stone. You see? There. An example of assonance.
Oh, it means getting the rhyme wrong.
Yes, well, I suppose you could say it means getting the rhyme wrong, but purposefully, in order to create a certain effect.
Oh, there's loads I don't know.
And you want to know everything.
Yeah.
What's your name?
Rita.
It says here Mrs. S. White.
Oh no, that's it. Susan. That's just my real name. I've changed it to Rita though. I'm not a Susan anymore. You know, I call myself Rita. You know, after Rita Mae Brown.
Who?
Rita Mae Brown. Who wrote Ruby Fruit Jungle?
Oh.
Haven't you read it? Oh, it's a fantastic book. Do you want to lend it?
Oh, yes, I'd be very interested.
All right. Huh? What's your name?
Frank.
Who? Not after Frank Harris.
Not after Frank anything.
Maybe your parents named you after the quality. You know, frankness, Elliot's brother.
What?
Sorry, it was a joke. You know, frankness, Elliot's brother. You've still not got it, have you? You know, Elliot Ness, the famous Chicago copper who caught Al Capone.
Oh, I see. When you said Eliot, I naturally assumed you meant T.S. Eliot.
Have you read his stuff?
Yes.
All of it?
Every last syllable.
Honest? I couldn't even get through one poem. I tried reading this thing he wrote called J. Arthur Prufrock. I couldn't finish it.
J. Alfred.
What?
I think, Rita, you'll find it's J. Alfred Prufrock. J. Arthur is something else entirely.
Oh, no. I never thought of that. I've got a lot to learn, haven't I?
Now you're, a lady's hairdresser.
Yeah,
Are you a good one?
I am when I want to be. Most of the time I don't want to, though. They get on my nerves.
Who?
Some women. I mean, they never tell you things that matter. It's like when you're doing a perm. Well, you can't use a strong perm lotion on an head that's been bleached with certain sorts of cheap bleach. I mean, it makes all the hair break off. But at least once a month, I'll get a customer in for a perm who'll swear to God that she's not had any bleach on. And I mean, I can tell. I can see it. So you go ahead and do the perm, don't you? She comes out of the dry with half an inch of stubble.
What do you do about that?
Try and sell her a wig. Women who want their hair doing, they won't stop at anything, you know. And even the pensioners are like that, you know. You know, a pensioner will come in, and she won't tell you that she's got an hearing aid. So you start cutting, don't you? Next thing, snip, another granny deaf for a fortnight. I'm always cutting hearing aid cords. And earlobes.
You sound something of a liability.
I am. But they expect too much. I mean, they walk in the hairdressers, and an hour later they want to walk out a different person. I tell them I'm an hairdresser, not a bleeding plastic surgeon. And it's worse when there's a fad on. You know, like Farrah Fawcett Majors.
Who?
Farrah Fawcett Majors. You know, she used to be with Charlie's Angels.
Oh.
It's a telly programme on ITV.
Oh, I see.
You wouldn't watch ITV though, would you? It's all BBC with you, isn't it?
Well, I must confess.
It's all right. As soon as I walked in here, I said to myself, oh, you can tell he's a flora man.
A what?
A flora man.
Flora? Flowers?
No. Flora, the bleeding margarine, no cholesterol. It's for people like you who eat pebble dash bread. You know, the bread with little hard bits in it, just like pebble dashing.
Oh, I see, pebble dash bread.
Quick, he's like lightning. But these women, you see, they come to the hairdressers because they want to be changed. But if you want to change, you've got to do it from the inside, haven't you? You know, like I'm doing. Oh. Do you think I'll be able to do it?
Oh, well, it all very much depends on you, on how committed you are. Now, are you sure you're absolutely serious about learning?
Oh, I am dead serious. Look, I know I take the piss and that, But I'm dead serious, really. I take the piss because I'm not, confident, like. But I want to be honest. What are you looking at me for?
Because I think you're marvellous. You must be the first breath of air in this room for years.
Now who's taking the piss?
Don't you recognise a compliment?
Go away.
Where to?
Don't be soft, you know what I mean?
What I really would like to know is what suddenly led you to this?
What? Coming here? Oh, it's not sudden.
Ah.
I've been realising for ages that I was, slightly out of step. I'm 26. I should have had a baby by now. Everyone expects it. I'm sure my husband thinks I'm sterile. He was moaning all the time, come off the pill, let's have a baby. Told him I'd come off it just to shut him up. But I'm still on it. You see, I don't want a baby yet. You see, I want to discover myself first. Do you understand that?
Yes.
Yeah. They wouldn't round our way. They'd think I was mental. I tried explaining it to my husband, but between you and me, I think he's thick. No, he's not thick. He's just blind. He doesn't want to see. It's like if I'm reading or watching something different on the telly, he gets dead knocked. And I used to just tell him to piss off. But then I realised it was no good doing that. I had to explain it to him. So I tried explaining that I wanted a better way of living my life. And he listened to me. But he didn't understand. Because after I'd finished, he said he agreed with me. And we should start saving the money to move off our estate and get a house in Formby. I mean, even if it was a new house I wanted, I wouldn't go and live in Formby. I hate that hole, don't you?
Yes.
Where do you live?
Formby. Another drink? Oh, you don't mind if I...
No. It's your brain cells you're killing.
Oh, all dead long ago, I'm afraid.
But when do you actually, start teaching me?
Oh, what can I teach you?
Everything.
I'll make a bargain with you, yes? I'll tell you everything I know, but if I do, you must promise never to come back here again. You see, I didn't want to take this course in the first place. I allowed myself to be talked into it. I knew it was wrong, and seeing you just confirms my suspicions. My dear, it's not your fault. Just the luck of the draw that you got me, but get me you did. Between you and me and the walls, I'm an appalling teacher. Most of the time it's all right. Appalling teaching is quite in order for most of my appalling students. And the rest of them get by despite me. But you're different. You want a lot, and I can't give it. All that I know, and you must listen to this, is that I know absolutely nothing. I don't like the hours, you know. Strange hours for this open university thing. They expect us to teach while the pubs are open. Oh, I can be a good teacher in the pub. 4 pints of weak Guinness and I'm as witty as wild. I'm sorry. There are other tutors. I'll arrange it for you. Post it on.
teacher, and you're going to bleeding well teach me.
There are other tutors, I've told you.
You're my tutor. I don't want another tutor.
Oh, for God's sake, woman, I told you.
You're my tutor.
I told you I don't want to do it. Why bother me?
Because you're a crazy mad piss artist who wants to throw his students through the window. And I like you. Don't you recognise a compliment?
Do you mind if I have a cigarette?
I'll bring me scissors next week. Give you a haircut.
You're not coming here next week.
I am. You're getting your haircut.
I am not getting my hair cut.
I suppose you want to walk around like that, do you?
Like what?
Like a geriatric hippie. Just oiling it for you. I knew you wouldn't get round to it. Here, you can have that.
Thanks.
What are you looking at?
Don't you ever just come into a room and sit down?
Oh, not when I've got the chair with its back to the door.
Oh, if you'd rather have my chair, then sit there.
No, you're the teacher. You sit there.
But it doesn't matter where I sit. If you'd be more comfortable with that chair, then please take it.
Is that what you call democracy at work? I don't want to sit down anyway. I like walking around this room. How'd you make a room like this?
No, I didn't make it. I just moved in. The rest sort of happened.
Yeah, that's because you've got taste. I'm going to have a room like this one day. There's nothing phony about it. Everything's in its right place. It's a mess. But it's a perfect mess. It's kind of like whenever you put something down, it's just grown to fit there.
You mean that over the years it's acquired a certain patina?
What?
I think so.
Yeah. It's acquired a certain patina. It's like something out of a romantic film, isn't it? You know, over the years, your face has acquired a certain patina. You've not been drinking, have you?
No.
Is that because of me? Because of what I said last week?
You think you've reformed me?
Oh, I don't want to reform you. You can do what you like. I love that lawn down there. You know, when it's summer, do they sit on it?
Who?
You know, the ones who come here all the time.
Oh, yes.
The proper students.
First glimpse of sun and they're all out there.
Reading and studying.
Reading and studying? What do you think they are, human? Proper students don't read and study.
You what?
A joke. Yes, they read and study. Sometimes.
You know, it looks the way I always imagined a public school to look. You know, a boarding school. When I was a kid, I always wanted to go to a school like that.
Heaven forbid. Why?
Oh, I always thought they sounded great. schools like that. With a tuck shop and a matron and prep, and a pair of kids called Jones Minor and Jones Major. I told my mother once. She said it was off me cake.
What in the name of heaven is being off one's cake?
Soft. Mental.
Ah, I see. Now I shall remember that. The next student to ask me if Isabel Archer was guilty of Protestant masochism shall be told that one is very obviously off one's cake.
Soft. You can't say that.
Why ever not?
You can't. You do it, it's slumming it. Coming from you, it'd sound dead effective, wouldn't it?
Dead effective?
Yeah. You say that to one of your proper students. They'll think you're off your,
Cake, yes. Rita, why did you never become what you call a proper student?
What? After going to the school I went to?
Was it bad?
Nah. Just normal, boring. Ripped up books, broken glass everywhere, knives and fights. And that was just in the staff room. Yeah, they tried their best, I suppose. Always telling us we stood more of a chance if we studied. But studying was just for the wimps, wasn't it? You see, if I'd started taking school seriously, I would have had to have become different from my mates, and that's not allowed.
By who?
Oh, by your mates, by your family, by everyone. So you never admit that school could be anything other than useless. It's like what you've got to be into, a music and clothes and looking for a fella. The real qualities of life. I mean, not that I went along with it so reluctantly. But I mean, there was always something in the head, tapping away, telling me I might have got it all wrong. I might just play another record or buy another dress and stop worrying. There's always something to make you forget about it. So you do. You keep going, telling yourself life's great. There's always another club to go to, a new fella to be chasing, a laugh and a joke with the girls. Until one day you own up to yourself. And you say, is this it? I mean, is this the absolute maximum I could expect from this living lark? And that's the big moment, that one. Because that's the point where you have to decide whether it's going to be another change of dress or a change in yourself. And it's really tempting to go out and get another dress. It is, because it's easy. It doesn't cost anything. And, it doesn't upset anyone around you. It's they don't want you to change.
And so you managed to resist another new dress?
Can't you tell? Look at the state of these. I've not had a new dress in 12 months. And I'm not going to have one either. Not till I pass my first exam. Then I'll get a proper dress. The sort of dress you'd only see on an educated woman. The sort of woman who knows the difference between Jane Austen and Tracy Austen. Let's start.
Now, the piece you wrote me on, what was it called?
Ruby Fruit Jungle.
Yes. It was,
Crap?
No. It was an appreciation, a descriptive piece. What you have to learn is criticism.
What's the difference?
Now, what you have to try to remember is that criticism is purely objective. It must be approached almost as a science. It must be supported by reference to established literary critique. Criticism is never subjective. It must not be confused with partisan interpretation. In criticism, sentimentality has no place. Tell me, what did you think of Howard's End?
It was crap.
What?
I thought it was crap.
Crap! And who are you citing in support of your thesis? F.R. Leavis?
No, me.
What have I just said? Me is subjective.
Well, it's what I think.
And you think Howard's End is crap? Well, perhaps you would be kind enough to inform me why you think it is, quote, crap, unquote.
Yeah, I will tell you. It's crap, because the fellow who wrote it was a louse. Because halfway through that book, I couldn't go on reading it. Because he, Mr. Bleeding E.M. Forster, says, quote, we are not concerned with the poor, unquote. That's why it's crap, and that's why I didn't go on reading it. That's why.
Because he said we are not concerned with the poor?
Yeah, that's it.
But he wasn't writing about the poor.
When he wrote this book, the conditions of the poor in this country were appalling. And he's saying he couldn't care less, Mr. E.M. Bleeding Foster.
Foster?
And the kid, funny thing was, he was sitting up there in his ivory tower and saying he couldn't care less. Don't laugh.
But you cannot approach Foster from a Marxist viewpoint.
Why not?
Look, before discussing this, I said, no sentimentality, no subjectivity.
I wasn't being sentimental.
Of course you were. You stopped reading the book because you wanted Forster to concern himself with the poor. The literature can ignore the poor.
Well, it's immoral.
Amoral. But you wanted to know. Do you see what sort of mark you get if you approach Forster from this point of view in an exam?
What sort?
Well, you might get 1 or 2% if the examiner was sympathetic with the one dubious quality your criticism portrays.
What's that?
Brevity.
Oh, all right. But I hated that book. Can't we do something else? Can't we do something I like?
But Rita, the sort of stuff you like is not necessarily the sort of thing that will form the basis of your examination next Christmas. Now, if you're going to pass any sort of exam, you have to start disciplining that mind of yours. It's a...
Are you married? What's your wife like?
Is my wife at all relevant?
What? Well, you should know. You married her.
Well, she's not relevant. I haven't seen her for a long time. We split up. All right.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Why are you sorry?
Well, I'm sorry for asking. For being nosy.
Now, the thing about Howard's End.
Why'd you split up?
Perhaps you'd like to take notes. When you are asked a question on Forster, you can treat the examiner to an essay entitled Frank's Marriage.
Go away. I'm only interested.
We split up, Rita, because of poetry.
You what?
One day, my wife informed me that for 15 years my output as a poet had been confined exclusively to the period during which we discovered each other.
Are you a poet?
Was. And so, to give me something new to write about, she left. Very noble woman, my wife. She left me for the good of literature.
And what happened?
Oh, she was right. Her leaving was an enormous benefit to literature.
But you wrote a load of good stuff.
No. I stopped writing altogether.
You're taking the piss. People don't split up because of things like that. Because of literature.
Oh, well, maybe not, but that's the way I remember it.
Were you a famous poet?
No. No, I published a few books. All out of print now.
Can I read some of your stuff?
Oh, you wouldn't like it.
How do you know?
Well, it's the sort of stuff you can't understand unless you have a fairly good knowledge of the literary references.
Oh. Do you live on your own then?
Oh, Rita. I live with a girl, an ex-student. She's very kind, very tolerant, admires me enormously, and spends a great deal of her time putting her head in the oven.
She tries to do herself in.
No, she just likes watching the ratatouille cook.
What?
Ratatouille. Or, as Julia's renamed it, the stop-out dish. It can simmer away in an oven for days. In our house, it often has no choice.
Do you stop out for days?
Occasionally, and that is the end of that.
Why do
That is the end of that.
If you were mine and you stopped out for days, you wouldn't get back in.
Ah, but Rita, if I were yours, would I stop out for days?
Don't you like Julia?
Oh, I like her enormously. It's myself I'm not too fond of.
Oh, you're great.
Ah, a vote of confidence, thank you. But I'm afraid, Rita, you'll find there's less to me than meets the eye.
Oh, look, see? You can say dead clever things like that, can't you? Oh, I wish I could talk like that. It's brilliant.
Staggering. Now, Howard's End.
Oh, hey, leave that. I just like talking to you. It's great. See, that's what they get wrong in schools, isn't it? You know, they get you talking and that, and you're all having a great time talking about something. And the next thing is they want to turn it into a lesson. I mean, we was out with the teacher once, you know, outside school, and I'm at the back with these other kids. And all of a sudden I saw this fantastic bird. All coloured it was. Like dead out of place around our way. And I was just about to shout out and tell Miss, when this kid next to me said, "Keep your mouth shut, or she'll make us write an essay on us."
Yes, that's what we do, Rita. It's called education.
You'd think there was something wrong with education to hear you talk.
Perhaps there is.
Why are you giving me an education?
Because it's what you want, isn't it? If I had my way, I'd take you by the hand and run out of this room forever.
Be serious.
I am. Right now, there's 1,000 things I'd rather do than teach. Most of them with you, young lady.
Oh, sod off. You just like saying things like that.
Do I?
Yeah, you know you do.
Rita, why didn't you walk into this room 20 years ago?
Because I don't think they would have accepted me at the age of 6.
You know what I mean.
Yeah, I know, Frank. But it's not 20 years ago. It's now. You're there, and I'm here.
Yes, and you're here for an education. You must keep reminding me of that. Now, Howard's End.
Oh, forget that.
Look! You said I was to teach you. You want an education. Well, I'm afraid that means a great deal of hard work. You've hardly had a basic schooling. You've never passed an exam in your life. A hungry mind is not necessarily the guarantee of success.
All right. But I just don't like Howard's bleeding end.
Oh, well, then go back to what you do like and stop wasting my time. You go out and buy a new dress and I'll go to the pub.
Is that you putting your foot down?
It is, actually.
Aren't you impressive when you're angry?
Howard's End.
No, all right, all right. Does Forster's repeated use of the phrase "only connect" suggest that he was really a frustrated electrician?
Rita.
In considering Forster, it helps if we examine the 13-amp plug.
Oh, she made me weary, and young girls say to get weary, wearing that same old shaggy dress. But when she gets weary, try a little tenderness. You know she's with you.
God, I've had enough of this. It's boring. That's what it is. Bloody boring. doesn't half get on me tits.
Good. You'll have to show me the evidence.
You dirty sot.
True. It's giving up the booze that does it. Rita, what's this?
It's a bleeding piece of paper, isn't it?
It's your essay. Is it a joke, is it?
No, it's not a joke.
Rita, how can you write an essay on E.M. Forster with almost total reference to Harold Robbins?
You said bring in other authors. Don't go on at me. You said. You said reference to other authors will impress the examiners.
I said refer to other works, but I doubt if the examiner, God bless him, will have heard of A Stone for Danny Fisher.
Well, that's his hard luck, isn't it?
It'll be your hard luck when he fails your paper.
Oh, that's prime. That's justice for you. I get failed just because I'm more well-read than the friggin' examiner.
Rita, devouring pulp fiction is not being well-read.
But I thought reading was supposed to be good for one.
It is, but you have to be selective. Now, in your favour, you do mention Sons and Lovers somewhere in here. Now, when did you read that?
This week. I read that, and the Harold Robbins. Oh, and this dead fantastic book. Now, what was it called? Oh, what was it? It sounded like something dead perverted. It was by that English fella.
What English fella?
You know, the one who was like Noel Coward. Oh, I know, Somerset Maugham.
A perverted book by Somerset Maugham.
No, it wasn't perverted, it was great. The title sounds perverted. Don't laugh.
Do you mean of human bondage?
Yeah, that's it. Well, it does sound perverted, doesn't it?
Well, so you read 3 novels this week.
Yeah, it was dead quiet in the shop.
Now, if I were to ask you to make a comparison of those books, what would you say?
Well, they were all good in their own way.
Yes, but surely you can tell the Harold Robbins from the other 2.
Well, apart from that one being American-like.
Yes.
Yeah, but I mean, the other 2 were sort of posher. But they're all books, aren't they?
Yes, but you seem to think that all books are literature.
Aren't they?
No.
Well, how'd you tell?
Well, one's always known, really.
Yeah, but how'd you work it out if you don't know? You see, that's what I've got to learn, isn't it? I'm dead ignorant, you know.
No, you're not ignorant. It's just a matter of becoming more discerning in your choice of reading material.
I've got no taste. Is that what you're saying?
No.
It is. Don't worry, you won't hurt me feelings. I'm here to learn. My mind's full of junk, isn't it? It needs a good clearing out, doesn't it? Right. I'll never read a Robbins novel again.
Oh, read it by all means, just don't mention it in an exam.
So, you mean that it's all right to go out and have a bit of slap and tickle with the lads, as long as you don't go home and tell your mum?
Yes, that's probably what I do mean.
Do it! Honest! I just can't understand what he's on about. He's got me licked. I just don't know what he's on about. I mean, only connect. It's just bleeding boring.
one moment?
Oh, with pleasure.
I want to talk to you about this that you sent me.
That?
Yes. In answer to the question, suggest ways in which you might resolve the staging difficulties inherent in a production of Ibsen's Peer Gynt. You have written, quote, do it on the radio, unquote.
Precisely.
Well?
Well, what?
Well, I know it's probably rather naive of me, but I did think you might let me have a considered essay.
It's all I could do in the time. We were dead busy in the shop.
You write your essays at work.
Yeah.
Why?
Denny gets dead knocked with me if I work at home. He doesn't like me doing this. I can't be bothered arguing with him.
But you can't go on turning in work as thin as this.
Is it wrong?
Well, it's not wrong, it's...
See, I know it's short, but I thought it was the right answer.
Well, it's the basis for an argument, but one line is hardly an essay.
I know, but I didn't have much time, so I sort of encapsulated all my ideas in one line.
But it's not enough.
Why not?
It just isn't.
Well, that's bleeding stupid. Because you say, don't you, the one line of exquisite poetry says more than 1,000 pages of second-rate prose.
Yes, but Rita, you are not writing poetry. What I'm trying to make you see is that whoever was marking this would want more than do it on the radio. There's a way of answering examination questions that is expected. It's a sort of accepted ritual, a game with rules, and you must obey those rules. When I was at university, there was a theology student taking his final exam. He walked into the examination hall, took out his pen and wrote, God knows all the answers. Then he handed in his paper and left.
Did he?
When he got his paper back, his professor had written on it, and God gives out the marks.
Did he fail?
Of course he failed. You see, the clever answer is not necessarily the correct answer.
I wasn't trying to be clever. I didn't have much time, and so what I did was...
All right, but you do have time now. Now, just spend 15 minutes or so adding some considered argument to this. In attempting to overcome the staging difficulties inherent in the production of Ibsen's Peer Gynt, I would do it on the radio because... and then outline your reasons, supporting them as much as possible with quotes from accepted authorities. All right?
Yeah, all right.
Now, you're sure you understand?
Yeah. What do you think I am? Thick? Do you know Peer Gynt? He was searching for the meaning of life, wasn't he?
Put at its briefest, yes.
Yeah. I was doing this woman's hair on Wednesday, and I'm gonna do this. Don't worry, I'm gonna do it. I just want to tell you. And I was doing her hair, and I was dead bored with what the others in the shop were talking about. So I just said to her, I said, do you know about Peer Gynt? She thought it was a new perm lotion. So I told her all about it, you know, the play. And you know something? She was dead interested. She was, you know.
Was she?
Yeah. She said, I wish I could go off searching for the meaning of life. There's loads of them round by us that feel like that. By us, there is no meaning to life. Frank, you know culture? You know the word culture? Well, it doesn't just mean going to the opera and that, does it?
No.
It means a way of living your life, doesn't it? Well, we've got no culture.
Well, of course you have.
What? You mean like that working class culture thing?
Yes.
Yeah. I've read about that. I've never seen it, though.
Well, look around you.
I do. But I don't see any, you know, culture. I just see everyone pissed, or on the Valium, trying to get from one day to the next. I mean, you daren't say that, like, round our way, because the crowd. They'll tell you they've got culture, as they sit there drinking their cake beer out of plastic glasses.
Well, there's nothing wrong with that, as long as they're content with it.
Yeah, but they're not. Because there's no meaning to it. You know, they tell you stories about the past. You know, about the war, or when they were, like, fighting for better conditions, for, you know, for food and clothing and houses. And their eyes light up when they tell you about it. Because there was some meaning to it. But the meaning's all gone.
You mean because they haven't any jobs?
No, I don't mean that. You know, because it was the same when there were jobs. I mean, there was still vandalism and violence and houses burnt out and wrecked by the people they were built for. You see, Frank, that's what everyone keeps saying. You know, those who are supposed to represent the people on our estate. You know, the Daily Mirror and ITV and the unions. They keep telling everyone that if only they could have their jobs back again, well, everything would be all right. But that isn't it. Because most of the jobs they had were the shitty jobs. You know, the awful jobs. I mean, just saying that it's about jobs, that like keeps everything covered up. There's like this disease, but no one takes any notice of it. Everyone just says, oh, stick a job on and the disease will go away. People don't only want jobs. They want meaning as well. But that gets forgotten. And the unions and the telling everyone just says, oh, give them jobs and they'll be in heaven. But they won't. It's like me, isn't it? You know, buying new dresses all the time, you know, keeping everything covered up.
Why didn't you take a course in politics?
Politics? Oh, go away, I hate politics. I'm just telling you about round our way. I want to be on this course, finding out. You know what I learned from you about art and literature? It feeds me inside. I can get through the week if I know that I've got coming here to look forward to. Denny tried to stop me coming here tonight. Tried to get me to go to the pub with him and his mates. He doesn't like me doing this. It's like drug addicts, isn't it? They hate it when one of them tries to break away. You know, it makes me stronger coming here. I think that's what Denny's frightened of.
Only connect.
Oh, not friggin' Forster again.
Only connect. You see what you'll be doing?
Just telling you about those.
Yes, and connecting. Your dresses, the Daily Mirror and ITV, addicts, you and your husband. You see?
And in that book, no one does connect.
Irony.
Is that it? Is that all it means?
Yes.
Why didn't you just tell me right from the start?
I could have told you, but you'll have a much better understanding of something if you discover it in your own terms.
Aren't you clever?
Brilliant. Now, Peer Gynt.
All right, hold on.
Well,
I've done it.
you've done it. In attempting to overcome the staging difficulties inherent in the production of Ibsen's Peer Gynt, I would do it on the radio because, as Ibsen himself said, he wrote it as a piece for voices, never intending it to go on in a theatre. If they'd had the radio in his day, that's where he would have done it. Becoming rather wearisome. Whenever you come to this room, you'll do anything except start work immediately. Why can't you come prepared to start? Where's your essay?
I haven't got it.
You haven't done it.
I said I haven't got it.
You've lost it.
It's burnt.
Burned?
So are all the Chekhov books you lent me. Denny found out I was on the pill again. It's my fault. I left my prescription out. Burnt all my books.
Oh, Christ.
I'm sorry. I'll buy you some more.
No, I wasn't referring to the books. Sod the books.
Why can't you just let me get on with my learning? You think I was having a bloody affair the way he behaves?
And aren't you?
No! What time have I got for an affair? I'm busy enough finding myself, let alone finding anyone else. I don't want anyone else. I've just begun to find me. And it's great, you know, it is, Frank. I mean, it might sound selfish, but all I want for the time being is what I'm finding inside me. I certainly don't want to be rushing off with some fella. But the first thing I'll have to do is forget about myself for the sake of him.
Perhaps your husband thinks you're having an affair with me.
Go away. You're my teacher, I've told him.
You've told him about me? What?
I've tried to explain how you give me room to breathe. You just, feed me without expecting anything in return.
And what did he say?
He didn't. I was out for a while. When I come back, he bed me books and papers, most of them. I said to him, you soft git. Even if I was having an affair, there's no point burning me books. I'm not having it up with Anton Chekhov. He said I wouldn't put it past you to shack up with a foreigner.
What are you going to do?
I'll order you some new copies and I will do the essay again.
I mean about your husband.
No, I've told him. I said there's no point crying over spilt milk. Most of me books and papers are gone, but if you touch me pig gint, I'll kill you.
Be serious.
I was.
Do you love him?
I see him looking at me sometimes. And I know what he's thinking. I do, you know. He's wondering where the girl he married has gone to. He even brings me presents sometimes. You know, hoping that the presents will make her come back. But she can't. Because she's gone. And I've taken her place.
Do you want to abandon this course?
No. No!
But art and literature start getting in the way of life itself. Perhaps it's time to...
But it's not getting in the way of life. It's providing me with life itself. He wants to take life away from me. Well, he wants me to stop rocking the coffin, that's all. Coming here, doing this, it's given me more life than I've had in years. And he should be able to see that. certainly not going to lie down and just die for him. I told him I'd only have a baby when I had choice. But he doesn't understand. He thinks we've got choice, because we can walk into a pub that sells 8 different kinds of lager. He thinks we've got choice already. Choice between Everton and Liverpool. Choosing which washing powder to use. Choosing between one lousy school and the next. Choosing between the lousy jobs and the dole. Choosing between stork and butter.
Yes, well, perhaps your husband...
No, I don't want to talk about him. Why was Chekhov a comic genius?
Oh, look, Rita, don't you think that perhaps for tonight we should give the course a miss?
No. I want to know. I've got to do this, Frank. I mean, you can bend me books and me papers, but if it's all inside me head, he can't touch it. It's like that with you, isn't it? You've got it all inside.
Let's leave it for tonight. Let's go to the pub and drink pots of Guinness and talk.
No. I've got to do this. I've got to, Frank. I want to talk about Chekhov.
We really should be talking about you and Denny, my dear.
I don't want to.
All right. Chekhov. C for Chekhov. We'll talk about Chekhov and pretend this is the pub.
Why'd you keep it stashed behind there?
Oh, a little arrangement I have with my immediate employers. It's called discretion. They didn't ask me to stop drinking. They asked me to stop displaying the signs.
Do you actually like drinking?
Oh, yes, love it. Absolutely no guilt about it whatsoever.
You know when you were a poet, Frank? Did you drink then?
Oh, a little. Not so much as now. You know, the great thing about the booze is that it makes one believe that underneath all the talk, one is actually saying something.
Why did you stop being a poet?
That is a pub question.
Yeah. Well, I thought we were pretending this was the pub.
In which we would discuss Chekhov.
Yeah. Well, he's second on the bill. You're on first. Go on, why'd you stop?
Oh, I didn't so much stop as realise I never was. I'd simply got it all wrong, Rita. Instead of creating poetry, I spent years and years trying to create literature.
And I thought that's what poets did.
What?
You know, make literature.
Poets shouldn't believe in literature.
I don't understand that.
You will. You will.
Oh, sometimes I wonder whether I'll ever understand any of it. It's like starting all over again, isn't it? You know, with a different language. You know, I read that Chekhov play, and I thought it was dead sad. It was tragic. You know, people committing suicide, and that Constantine kid's trying to produce his masterpiece, and everyone's laughing at him. I mean, it was tragic. And then I read the blurb on it, and everyone's going on about Chekhov being a comic genius.
Yes, well, it's not comedy like, well, it's not stand-up comedy. Have you ever seen Chekhov in the theatre?
No. Does he go?
Have you ever been to the theatre?
No.
You should go.
Hey, why don't we go tonight?
Me? Go to the theatre? Good God, no. I hate the theatre.
Well, why the hell are you sending me then?
Because you want to know.
Then you come with me.
Ah. And how would I explain that to Julia?
Just tell her you're coming to the theatre with me.
Ah. I shall not be in tonight, because I am going to the theatre with ravishing Rita.
Sod off.
I'm serious.
Would she really be jealous?
If she knew I was at the theatre with an irresistible thing like you, it'd be deaf and dumb breakfast for a week.
Why?
Why not?
I don't know, I just thought...
Rita, stupid as it may seem to you, even a woman who possesses an MA is not above common jealousy.
But what's she got to be jealous of me for? I'm not going to try and rape you in the middle of the seagull.
Oh, what a disappointment. You could have made the theatre exciting for me again.
Come on, come with me. You never tell the truth, do you?
What do you mean?
You don't. You like evade it with jokes and that. Come on. Come to the theatre with me. We'll have a laugh.
Will we?
Yeah. Come on. We'll ring Julia.
What?
What's your number?
We will not bring Julia. In any case, Julia's out tonight.
So what will you do? Spend the night in the pub?
Yes.
Come with me, Frank. You'll have a better time than you will in the pub.
Will I?
Of course you will.
What is it you want to see, anyway?
The importance of being, thinny.
But the importance isn't playing at the moment.
It is. I passed the church hall on the bus and there was a poster.
An amateur performance? You expect me to miss a night in the pub to see amateurs play the importance in a church hall?
Yeah. Doesn't matter who's doing it, does it? It's the same play, isn't it?
Possibly, Rita. Possibly.
Oh, come on, hurry up. Get excited. I've never seen a live play before.
No. There's no guarantee you'll see a live play tonight.
Just because they're amateurs. You've got to give them a chance. They've got to learn somewhere. And they might be good.
Yes.
Oh, you're an awful snob, aren't you?
All right. Come on.
Have you seen it before?
Of course.
Well, don't go telling me what happens, will you? Don't go spoiling it for me.
In a handbag. A handbag? Yes, Lady Bracknell, I was in a handbag. A somewhat large, black, leather handbag with handles to it. An ordinary handbag, in fact.
In what locality did this Mr. James or Thomas Cardew come across this ordinary handbag?
In the cloakroom at Victoria Station. It was given him in mistake for his own.
The cloakroom at Victoria Station?
Yes.
Since the earliest days of the Jewish state, Jordan has now become the second Arab country after Egypt to conclude a full peace with Israel. King Hussein said the treaty was the dawn of a new age, not just a piece of paper, but a real commitment for Israelis and Jordanians to work together. For Israel, the Prime Minister Yitzhak Rabin said it was time to make the land fertile instead of planting minefields. President Clinton, who signed the treaty as a witness...
What are you doing here? It's Thursday.
I know I shouldn't be here. It's my dinner hour. Oh, but I had to tell someone. Listen, have you got a few minutes? Can you spare?
My God, what's the matter?
I had to come and tell you, Frank. Last night, I went to the theatre. A proper one. A professional theatre.
For God's sake, you had me worried. I thought it was something important.
No, listen, it was. I went out and got me ticket. It was Shakespeare. I thought it was going to be dead boring.
Oh, well then why did you go in the first place?
Because I wanted to find out. Oh, but listen, it wasn't boring. It was bleeding great. Honest, it done me in. It was fantastic. I'm going to do an essay on it.
All right, come on. Tell me which one it was.
Out! Out, brief candle! Life's but a walking shadow, a poor player that struts and frets his hour upon the stage, and then is heard no more. It is a tale told by an idiot, full of sound and fury, signifying nothing.
Ah, Romeo and Juliet.
Be serious, Frank. I learned that today from the book. Look, and when I've got the book, isn't it great? What I couldn't get over was how exciting it was.
Yes.
Wasn't his wife a cow, eh? And that fantastic bit where he meets Macduff and he thinks he's all invincible. I was on the edge of my seat at that bit. I wanted to shout out and tell Macbeth, warn him.
You didn't, did you?
Yeah, you can't do that in the theatre, can you? It was dead exciting. It was like a thriller.
Well, you'll have to go and see more.
Oh, I'm going to. Macbeth's a tragedy, isn't it? Right. Well, I just had to tell someone who'd understand.
Oh, and I'm honoured you chose me.
Well, I better get back. I've left a customer with a hair lotion. If I don't get a move on, there'll be another tragedy.
No, there won't be a tragedy.
Oh, there will, I know this customer, she's dead fussy. If her pen doesn't come out right, there'll be blood and guts everywhere.
Which might be quite tragic. But it won't be a tragedy.
What?
Well, the tragedy of the drama is nothing to do with the sort of tragic event you're talking about. Macbeth is flawed by his ambition. Yes?
Yeah, go on.
Well, it's that flaw which forces him to take the inevitable steps towards his own doom, you see? Oh, no thanks. Whereas a woman's hair being reduced to an inch of stubble, or the sort of thing you read in the papers that's reported as being tragic. Man killed by falling tree is not a tragedy.
Oh, it is for the poor sod under the tree.
Yes, it's tragic. It's absolutely tragic, but it's not tragedy in the way that Macbeth is a tragedy. You see, tragedy in dramatic terms is inevitable, preordained. Now look, even without ever having heard of the story of Macbeth, you wanted to shout out, to warn him, to stop him going on, didn't you? But you wouldn't have been able to stop him, would you?
No.
Why?
Because they would have thrown me out of the theatre.
What I'm trying to make you see is that your warning would have been ignored. He's warned in the play, but he can't go back. He still treads the path to doom. Whereas the poor old gentleman under the tree, he hasn't arrived there by following any inevitable steps, has he? There's no particular flaw in his character that has preordained his end. If he'd been warned about standing under that tree, he wouldn't have done it. Understand?
So Macbeth brings it on himself.
Yes. He goes blindly on, and with each step he spins another piece of thread, which will eventually make up the network of his own tragedy, you see?
I think so. I'm not used to thinking like this.
It's quite easy, Rita.
Oh, it is for you. I just thought it was a dead exciting story. But the way you tell it, you make me see all sorts of things in it. It's fun tragedy, isn't it? All of them out there. They know all about this sort of thing, don't they?
Look, what about a proper lunch?
Lunch? Oh, Christ, me customer. She only wanted a demi-wave. She'll come out looking like a friggin' gollywog. Hey, listen, Frank. I was thinking of going to the art gallery tomorrow. It's my half day off. Do you want to come with me?
All right. Oh, and look, what are you doing on Saturday?
For work.
After work.
Today?
I want you to come over to the house.
Why?
Oh, Julia's organised a few people round for dinner.
And you want me to come? Why?
Well, why do you think?
I don't know.
Because you might enjoy yourself.
Oh,
Will you come?
if you want.
What do you want?
I All right, I'll call.
Will you bring Denny?
Oh, I don't know if he'll come.
Well, ask him.
All right.
What's the matter?
What shall I wear?
News read by Michael Poles.
No, I don't mind. 2 empty seats at the dinner table means more of the vino for me. But Julia is the stage manager type. She likes order. If we've invited 8, she expects to see 8. Yes, she likes order, which is probably why she took me on. Gives her a lot of practice. And having to cope with 6 instead of 8 was very hard on Julia. Now, I'm not saying that I needed an apology. You don't turn up, that's up to you, but...
I did apologise.
Rita, sorry can't come. Scribbled on the back of your essay and thrust through the letterbox is hardly an apology.
What does the word sorry mean if it's not an apology? When I told Denny we were going to yours, he went mad. We had a big fight about it.
Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't realise. Well, couldn't you have explained? Couldn't you have said that was the reason?
No, because that wasn't the reason. I told Denny that if he wasn't going to go, I'd go on my own. And I tried to. I mean, all day Saturday, all day in the shop, I was thinking what to wear. So I got home and I tried on 5 different dresses. They all looked bleeding awful. And all the time, I'm trying to think of things I can say, what I can talk about. And I can't remember anything. It's all jumbled up in my head. I can't remember whether it's Wilde who's witty and Shaw who was Shavian or who the hell wrote Howard's End. Then I got the wrong bus to your house. It took me ages to find it. And then I walked up your driveway. And I saw you all through the window. You were sipping drinks and talking and laughing. And I couldn't come in.
Well, of course you could.
I couldn't. I bought the wrong sort of wine. When I was in the off-licence, I knew I was buying the wrong stuff. But I didn't know what was the right wine.
Rita, I wanted you to come. You didn't have to dress up and buy wine.
When you go out for dinner, don't you dress up? Don't you buy wine?
Yes, but...
Well?
Well, what?
Well, you wouldn't take sweet sparkling wine, would you?
Does it matter what I do? It wouldn't have mattered if you walked in with a bottle of Spanish Blanc.
It was Spanish.
Couldn't you have relaxed? It wasn't a fancy dress party. You could have come as yourself. Just think what people would have seen if you just breezed in. They'd have seen someone who's funny, delightful, charming.
But I don't want to be charming and delightful. Funny? Oh, what's funny? I don't want to be funny. I want to talk seriously with the rest of you. I didn't want to the evening. Taking the piss, coming on with the buddies, because that's the only way I can get into the conversation. I didn't want to come to your house to play court jester.
Oh, you weren't being asked to play that role. I just wanted you to be yourself.
But I don't want to be myself. Me. What's me? Some stupid woman who gives us all a laugh because she thinks that she can learn. Because she thinks that one day she'll be like the rest of them. Talking seriously, confidently, with knowledge, leading a civilized life. Well, she can't be like that, really. But bring her in anyway, because she's good for a laugh.
Oh, you think that was why you were invited? You to be laughed at? You can get out now. I invited you because I wanted your company. And if you can't believe that, well, then I suggest you stop visiting me and start visiting an analyst who can cope with paranoia.
I'm all right with you. Here, in this room. But when I saw those people you were with, I couldn't come in. I would have seized up. Because I'm a freak. I can't talk to the people that I live with anymore. And I can't talk to the likes of them on Saturday or them out there. Because I can't learn the language. I'm a half-caste. I went back to the pub where Denny was and my mother and out Sandra and her mates. I decided I wasn't coming here again. And I walked into the pub and they were singing. All of them singing some song they'd learned from the jukebox. I stood in the pub and I thought, just what the frig am I trying to do? Why don't I just pack it in and stay with them and join in the singing?
Why don't you?
You think I can, don't you? Just because you pass a pub doorway and you hear the singing, you think we're all okay. That we're all surviving with the spirit intact. Well, I did join in with the singing. I didn't ask any questions, I just went along with it. When I turned round, my mother had stopped singing. And she was crying. And no one could get it out of her why she was crying. Everyone just said she was pissed and we should get her home, so we did. And on the way home I asked her, so why are you crying, Mother? She said, because we could sing better songs than those. 10 minutes later, Denny had her laughing and singing again, pretending she hadn't said it. But she had. And that's why I came back. And that's why I'm staying.
One moment. Your essay. What's that?
It's me case.
Where are you going?
Me mother's.
Why? Oh, Rita.
I got home from work. He packed me case. He said either I stop coming here and come off the pill, or I could get out altogether. It was an ultimatum. I explained to him. I mean, I didn't get nagged or anything. I just explained to him how I had to do this. He said it's warped me. He said I betrayed him. I suppose I have.
How have you?
I have. I know he's right. But I couldn't betray myself. He says there's a time for education, and it's not when you're 26 and married.
Where are you going to go?
I phoned my mother. She said I can go there for a week. Then I'll get a flat. I'm sorry.
Oh, no. Sit down.
No, it's all right. I'll be okay. Just give me a minute. What was me Macbeth essay like?
Oh, sod, Macbeth.
Why?
Rita.
No, come on. I want you to tell me what you
In the
thought of it.
circumstances.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't. In the circumstances, I need to go on. To talk about it, and I do it. What was it like? I told you it was no good. Is it really useless?
No, it's not useless. It's a totally honest, passionate account of your reaction to a play. It's an unashamedly emotional statement about a certain experience.
Sentimental?
No, it's too honest for that. It's almost moving. But in terms of what you're asking me to teach you of passing exams, it's... Oh, God, you see, I...
Say it! Go on, say it!
In those terms, it's worthless. It shouldn't be, but it is. In its own terms, it's wonderful.
It's worthless. You said. And if it's worthless, you've got to tell me. Because I want to write essays like the rest of these on here.
If you're going to write...
I want to know and pass exams like they do.
If you're going to write that sort of stuff, you've got to change.
All right. Tell me how to do it.
I'm not sure I want to tell you. I'm not sure I want to teach you. What you already have is valuable.
Valuable? What's valuable? The only thing I value is here. Coming here once a week.
But if you're going to write this sort of stuff, to pass exams, you're going to have to suppress, but perhaps even abandon your uniqueness. I'm going to have to change you.
But don't you realise? I want to change. Oh, listen, is this your way of telling me that I can't do it? That I'm not good enough?
No, it's not that.
Because if that's what you're trying to tell me, I'll get out now.
No, of course you're good enough.
See, I know it's difficult for you with someone like me. But you've just got to keep telling me. And then I'll start to take it in. You see, with me, you've got to be dead firm. You won't hurt me feelings, you know. If I do something that's crap, I don't want pity, Frank. You just tell me, well, that's crap. Here. It's crap. Right. So we dump that in the bin. And we start...
What is this vision returned from the city? Welcome back.
Right, it was fantastic. Honest it was. Oh,
What do you mean, London or summer school?
both. A crowd of us stuck together all week. We had a great time. You know, dead late every night. We stayed up talking. We went all round London. We got drunk, went to the theatre, bought all sorts of second-hand gear in the markets. Oh, it was
Oh, well, you won't have had much time to do any work there.
work. We never stopped. Lashing us with it they were. Another essay, lash. Do it again, lash. Another lecture, smack. Oh, it was dead good though. You know, at first I was dead scared. I didn't know anyone. I was going to come home. But the first afternoon I was standing in this library, you know, looking at the books, pretending I was dead clever. When this lecturer come up to me, and he looked at the book in my hand and he said, "Ah, are you fond of Ferlinghetti?" And it was right on the tip of my tongue to say, "Only when it's served with Parmesan cheese." But Frank, I didn't. I held it back. And I heard myself saying, "Actually, I'm not too familiar with the American poets." Frankie would have been dead proud of me. He started talking to me about the American poets. Yeah, we sat around for ages. And he wasn't even one of the official tutors, you know. Oh, we had to go to this big hall for a lecture. You know, there must have been 2,000 of us in there. Anyway, after he finished his lecture, this professor asked if anyone had a question. And Frank, I stood up. Honest to God, I stood up. I don't know what possessed me. I was going to sit down again, but 2,000 people had seen me stand up. So I did it. I asked the question.
Well,
Well, what?
what was the question?
Oh, I don't know. I forget now. Because after that I was asking questions all week. You couldn't keep me down. Oh, I think that first question was something to do with Chekhov. Because, you know, I'm dead familiar with Chekhov now. Guy, what was France like? Go on, tell me about it.
Oh, there's very little to tell, really.
Oh, go on, tell me about it. I've never been abroad before. What was it like?
Oh, well, it was rather hot.
No tart, I packed it in. Did you drink?
Oh, a little.
Did you write?
A little.
Will you show it to me?
Perhaps. One day, perhaps.
So you wrote a bit and you drank a bit? Is that all?
Julia left me.
What?
No, but not because of the obvious. It had nothing whatsoever to do with the ratatouille. No, it was caused by something called œufs en cocotte.
What?
Eggs, my dear, eggs. Yes, nature has cursed me with a dislike of the egg. Be it cocotte, Florentine, Benedict, or plain hard-boiled. Julia insisted that nature was wrong. I defended nature, and Julia left.
Because of eggs?
Well, let's say that it began with eggs. Anyway, that's more or less all that happened in France. Anyway, the holidays are over. You're back. Even Julia's back.
Is she? Is it all right?
Oh, perfect. You know, I get the impression we shall stay together forever. Or until she learns of œufs à la cressy.
Œufs à la cressy? Does that mean eggs? Oh, Trish was going on about those. Is that all it is? Eggs?
Trish.
Trish! You flatmate, Trish! Oh, God, is it that long since I've seen you, Frank? She moved into the flat with me just before I went to summer school.
Oh, is she a good flatmate?
Oh, she's great. You know, she's dead classy. You know, she's got taste. You know, like you, Frank, she's just got it. I mean, everything in the flat's dead unpretentious. Just books and plants everywhere. You know something, Frank? I'm having the time of my life. I am, you know. I feel young. You know, like them out there. I feel young.
But 26 is hardly old, my dear.
Oh, I know that. But I mean, I feel young. I can be young like them. Oh, hey, listen. I bought you for a snack from London. It isn't much, much, but I thought, now where is it? Yeah. See what it says? It's engraved.
Must only be used for poetry. By strictest order, Rita.
I thought it'd be like a gentle hint.
Gentle.
Every time you try to write a letter or a note with that pen, it won't work. Because you'll read that inscription and it'll make you feel dead guilty. Because you're not writing poetry.
Thank you, Rita.
It's a pleasure. Come on, what are we going to do this term? Let's do a dead good poet. Hey, come on, let's go and have the tutorial down there.
Down where?
Down there on the grass.
Oh, nobody sits out there at this time of year.
They do. There's some of them out there now.
Well, they'll have wet bums.
Oh, what's a wet bum? You can sit on a bench. Come on.
Oh, look, Rita, I absolutely protest.
Why?
Well, like Dracula, I have an aversion to sunlight.
All right. Well, let's open a window then.
Oh, if you insist on opening a window, go ahead.
It won't bleed and budge.
I'm not surprised. It hasn't been open in generations.
You need air in here, Frank. The room needs air.
This room does not need air. Thank you very much.
Of course it does. A room is like a plant.
A room is like a plant.
Yeah. It needs air.
Oh, and water too, presumably. If you're going to make an analogy, you might as well take it the whole way. Let's bring in a watering can and water the carpet. Bring in 2 tons of soil and a bag of fertilizer. We might even be able to take cuttings and propagate little rooms.
Go away. You're mental, you are.
But I heard you. You said a room is like a plant.
Well,
what?
well, any analogy will break down eventually.
Yes, and some will break down sooner than others. Oh, look. A Greek poet, you said. Well, we have one on the course. I was going to show him to you earlier, but, now, where is he?
Are you still on that stuff?
Well, did I ever say I wasn't?
No, but
But what?
why'd you do it when you've got so much going for you, Frank?
It is indeed because I have so much going for me that I do it. Life is such a rich and hectic world that I need the booze to help me step delicately through it.
It'll kill you, Frank.
I thought you weren't interested in reforming me.
I'm not. It's just that...
Just the what?
Well, it's just that I thought you'd started reforming yourself.
Ah, under your influence. Oh, well, what will happen, Rita, when your influence is no longer there? What will I do when in appalling sobriety I watch you walk away and disappear, my influence gone forever?
Who says I'm going to disappear?
But you will, Rita. You've got to.
Why have I got to? I mean, this course could go on for years. And when I've got through this one, I might even get into the proper university here.
Oh, yes, and we'll all live happily ever after. No, your going is as inevitable
Macbeth.
as tragedy, yes. But it will not be a tragedy, because I shall be glad to see you go.
Oh, thank you very much. Will you really?
Be glad to see you go. Well, I certainly don't want to see you stay in a room like this for the rest of your life.
Oh, you can be a real misery sometimes. Do you know that? I was dead happy a minute ago. And now you start and make me feel like I'm having a bad night in a mortuary.
Well, look, here's something to cheer you up. Here's your dead good poet, Blake.
Blake? William Blake?
That's the man himself. Oh, you'll understand, Blake, Rita. They overcomplicate it, but you'll understand him. You'll love the man.
I know.
What? Yes, look, just read that passage.
O Rose, thou art sick. The invisible worm that flies in the night in the howling storm has found out thy bed of crimson joy, and his dark secret love does thy life destroy.
You know it.
Yeah, we did him at summer school.
At summer school? But you weren't supposed to do Blake at summer school, were you?
Nah, we had this lecturer though. He was a real Blake freak. He was on about it every day. I mean, everything he said, honest, everything was related to Blake. He couldn't even get his dinner in the refectory without relating it to Blake. Blake and chips. He was good though. You know, on the last day we bought him a present, and on it we put that poem, you know, The Sick Rose. But we changed it about a bit. It was, O Rose, thou art sick, just mangled and dead, since the rotten gardener pruned off thy head. We thought he might be narked, but he wasn't. He loved it. He said, oh, what did he say? He said, parody is merely a compliment masquerading as humour.
So, you've done Blake. You've covered all the songs of innocence and experience?
Of course. You don't do Blake without doing innocence and experience, do you?
No. Of course. Come in.
Hello, Frank.
Hello, Rita, you're late.
I know, Frank. I'm terribly sorry. It was unavoidable.
Was it? What's the matter with your voice?
Nothing is the matter with it, Frank. I have merely decided to talk properly. There is not a lot of point in discussing the beautiful literature in an ugly voice.
But you haven't got an ugly voice. At least you hadn't. Talk properly.
I am talking properly, Frank. I have to practice constantly in everyday situations.
You mean you're going to talk like that throughout this tutorial?
Trish says that no matter how difficult I may find it, I must persevere.
Will you kindly tell Trish that I'm not giving a tutorial to a Dalek?
I am not a Dalek.
Rita, stop it!
But Frank, I have to persevere in order that I shall.
Rita, please be yourself.
I am being myself.
What's that?
What?
On your back?
Oh, it's grass.
Grass?
Yeah. I got here early today. I got talking to some students down there on the lawn.
You were talking to students down there?
Yeah. Don't sound so surprised. I can talk now, you know, Frank.
Oh, I'm not surprised. It's just that, well, you used to be quite wary of them, didn't you?
God knows why. But students, they don't half come out with some rubbish.
You're telling me.
I only got talking to them in the first place because as I was passing, I heard one of them say that as a novel, he preferred Lady Chatterley to Sons and Lovers. I thought, I can keep walking and ignore it, or I can put him straight. So I put him straight. I walked over and I said, excuse me, but I couldn't help overhearing the rubbish you were spouting about Lawrence. You should have seen the faces on them, Frank. I said trying to compare Chatterley with Sons and Lovers was like comparing sparkling wine with champagne. The next thing is, there's this heated discussion with me right in the middle of it.
Yes, but I thought you said the student claimed to prefer Chatterley as a novel.
He did?
So he wasn't suggesting that it was in any way superior.
Oh, not at first. But then he did. Frankie walked right into it.
And you finished him off, did you, Rita?
Oh, Frankie was asking for it. He was an idiot. His argument just crumbled. There was this really mad one with them. I've only been talking to them for 5 minutes and he's inviting me to go abroad with them all. They're all going to the south of France in the Christmas holidays. You know, slumming it.
But you can't go.
Why not?
You have your exams.
The exams are before Christmas.
Well, you have to wait for the results.
I couldn't go anyway.
Why?
Oh, it's all right for them. They can just jump into a bleeding van and go away. But I can't. Tiger, they call him. The mad one. His real name's Tyson, but they call him Tiger.
Is there much point in my going on with this?
What?
Is there much point in you working towards an examination when you're going to fall in love and run off to the south of France?
What? Fall in love? With who? I've just been talking to some students. My God, Frank, I've heard of matchmaking, but this is ridiculous.
All right. Just stop burbling on about Mr. Tyson.
I wasn't burbling on. What's it like?
Oh, it wouldn't look out of place with these.
Honest?
Dead honest. Something like rape on a grand scale. Not just the students either. That'll be just a minor misdemeanor. No. To get the sack, it would have to be nothing less than buggering the bursar. They suggested a sabbatical for a year or 10. Europe or America. I suggested Australia, but the illusion was lost on them.
Frank, you're mad.
I know. Right off my case.
Even if you don't think about yourself, what about your students?
What about the students?
Well, it's hardly fair on them if the lecturer's so pissed he's falling off the rostrum.
I may have fallen off, but Well, I went down talking. And I got up talking. Never missed a syllable. What have they got to complain about?
Maybe they did it for your own good.
Yeah, or maybe they're a bunch of mealy-mouthed pricks who wouldn't know a poet if you beat them around the head with one. Assonance, I said. Assonance means getting the rhyme wrong. They looked at me as though I'd desecrated Wordsworth's tomb.
Look, Frank, we'll talk about the Blake essay next week, okay?
Where are you going? You can't go. We've got a tutorial.
Frank, you are not in any fit state for a tutorial. I'll leave the essay with you, and we'll talk about it next week.
No,
okay?
you can't go. You can't go. Look, wait, look, watch. So, watch. Sober! Come on. Look, I want to show you this. Look at this. Look. What's this?
Is there something wrong with it, Frank?
No. This passage here. You seem to think it's something to do with, sexuality.
It is.
Is it?
Well, it's certainly a, richer poem, isn't it? If it's interpreted in that way.
Richer? What do you mean, richer? We discussed this. The Blossom is a simple and complicated poem about Blossom, as though seen from a child's point of view.
Yeah, in one sense, Frank. But it becomes a more rewarding poem when you see that it works on a number of levels.
No. The poem is a simple and...
Yeah, that's what you say, Frank. But me and Trish and some others, we sat up talking the other night, about Blake. And what came out of our discussions was that, apart from the simple surface value of Blake's poetry, there's always
Well, go on.
a vein of concealed meaning. I mean, if that poem's only about the blossom, well, it's not much of a poem, is it?
So you think it gains from this sort of interpretation?
Is the essay wrong, then, Frank?
It's not wrong, but I don't like it.
You're being subjective.
Perhaps I do.
If it was in an exam, what sort of a mark would it get?
So, well, what?
Well, what the hell are you saying then?
Well, I'm simply saying that it's all very nice, up-to-the-minute trendy stuff about Blake, but there's nothing of you in it.
Or maybe, Frank, you mean there's nothing of your views in there?
Well, perhaps that's what I mean.
But when I first came to you, Frank, you didn't give me a view. You let me find my own.
Yes, and your views I still value, but these are not your views.
But you told me not to have a view. You told me to be objective, to consult recognised authorities. Well, that's what I've done. I've talked to other people. I've read other books. And after consulting a wide variety of opinion, I came up with those conclusions.
Yes, all right.
Oh, look, Frank, I don't have to go along 100% with your views on Blake, I can have a mind of my own, can't I?
I sincerely hope so, my dear.
And what's that supposed to mean?
It means... be careful.
What do you mean, be careful? I can look after myself. Just because I'm learning now. Just because I can do it. I read what I want to read and understand without having to come running to you every 5 minutes. You start telling me to be careful.
It's just that I care for you, and I want you to care for yourself.
I care for you, Frank. But you've got to leave me alone a bit. I'm not an idiot now, Frank. I don't need you to hold me hand so much. I can do things on my own more now. And I am careful. I know what I'm doing. Just don't keep treating me as though I'm the same as when I first walked in here. I understand now, Frank. I know the difference between between Somerset Maugham and Harold Robbins. And you're still treating me as if I'm still hung up on Ruby Fruit Jungle. Just stop treating... You understand, don't you, Frank?
Perfectly, my dear.
I'm sorry.
Not at all. Oh, I got round to reading Ruby Fruit Jungle. It was excellent.
No way, Frank. Of its type, it's quite interesting. But it's hardly excellence. I'm sorry. Am I too late? Well, we were talking, I didn't notice the time.
Talking?
Yeah. I mean, if it'll go in my favour, we were talking about Shakespeare.
Yes, I'm sure you were.
Am I too late then? Alright, I'll be on time next week, I promise.
Rita, don't go.
No, honestly, Frank. I know I've wasted your time. I'll see you next week, eh?
Rita, sit down. When you were so late, I phoned the shop.
Which shop?
The hairdresser's shop, the shop where you work. Or should I say, did work.
Haven't worked there for a long time. I work in a bistro now.
You didn't tell me.
Didn't I? I thought I did. I was telling someone.
Well, it wasn't me.
No. Sorry. What's wrong?
It occurs to me there was a time when you told me everything.
I thought I had told you.
No. Can I offer you a drink?
Who cares if I left hairdressing to work in a bistro?
I care. You don't want a drink? Do you mind if I do?
But why do you care about details like that? It's just boring, irrelevant detail.
Is it?
That's why I couldn't stand hairdressing any longer. Boring, irrelevant detail all the time, on and on. Well, I'm sorry, but I've had enough of that. I don't want to talk about irrelevant rubbish anymore.
And what do you talk about in your bistro? Cheers.
Everything.
Everything.
We talk about what's important, Frank. And we leave out the boring details for those who want them.
Is Mr. Tyson one of your customers?
A lot of students come in. He's one of them. You're not going to give me another warning, are you, Frank?
Would it do any good?
Look, for your information, I do find Tiger fascinating. Like I find a lot of the students I mix with fascinating. They're young, and they're passionate about things that matter. They're not trapped. They're too young for that. And I like to be with them.
Perhaps you don't want to waste your time coming here anymore.
No, don't be stupid. I'm sorry I was late. Look, Frank, I've got to go. I'm meeting Trish at 7. We're going to see a production of The Seagull.
Oh, well, when Chekhov calls. You can hardly bear to spend a moment here, can you?
That isn't true. It's just that I've got to go to the theatre.
Yes, and last week you didn't come at all. Just a call to say you had to cancel.
It's just that there are so many things happening right now. It's harder.
Yes, well, as I said, if you want to stop coming...
Oh, for God's sake. I don't want to stop coming here. I've got to come here. What about the exam?
Oh, I shouldn't worry about that. You'll breeze through that. You really don't have to put in the odd appearance out of sympathy. I'd rather you spared me that.
If you could stop pouring that junk down your throat in the hope that it'll make you feel like a poet, you might be able to talk about things that matter, instead of where I do or don't wear. And then, it might be worth coming here.
Are you capable of recognising what does or does not matter, Rita?
I understand literary criticism. And when I come here, that's what we're supposed to be dealing with.
You want literary criticism? I want an essay on that lot by next week.
What is it?
No subjectivity, no sentimentality, just pure criticism. A critical assessment of a lesser-known English poet. Me. Expecting you till next week.
Are you sober? Are you?
Well, you mean am I still this side of reasonable comprehension then? Yes.
Because I want you to hear this when you're sober. These are brilliant, Frank. You've got to start writing again. They're brilliant. They're witty, they're profound, they're full of style.
Oh. Tell me again, and again.
They are. And it isn't just me who thinks so. Me and Trish sat up last night and read them. She agrees with me. I mean, why did you stop writing? Why did you stop when you could produce work like this? I mean, we stayed up most of the night just talking about it. You know, at first we saw it as purely contemporary poetry in its own right. You know, as something particular to this century. But look, Frank, what makes it more, what did Trish say? More resonant than purely contemporary poetry is that you can see in it a direct line through to, like, 19th century traditions of wit and classical allusion.
Well, that's marvellous, Rita. How fortunate I didn't show it to you earlier. Just think what you'd have said if I'd shown it to you when you first arrived.
I know. I wouldn't have understood it, Frank.
You'd have thrown it across the floor and dismissed it as a heap of shit, wouldn't you?
I know. But I couldn't have understood it then, Frank. Because I wouldn't have been able to recognise and understand the allusions.
Oh, I've done a marvellous job on you, haven't I?
It's true, Frank. I can see it now.
You know, I think like you, I shall change my name. Yes. From now on, I shall insist on being called Mary. Mary Shelley. Do you understand that allusion, Rita?
What?
She wrote a little Gothic number called Frankenstein.
So?
This clever, pyrotechnical pile of self-conscious illusion is worthless, talentless shit. And should be recognised as such by anyone with a scrap of common sense. It's the sort of thing that gives publishing a bad name. Wit. You'll find more wit in the telephone book. And probably more insight. Its only advantage over the telephone directory is that it's easier to rip. It is pretentious, characterless, and without style.
It's not.
Oh, I wouldn't expect you to believe me, Rita. After all, you recognise the hallmark of literature now, don't you? Why don't you get out? I don't think I can bear it any longer.
Can't bear what, Frank?
You, my dear, you.
I'll tell you what you can't bear, Mr. Self-Pitying Piss Artist. What you can't bear is that I'm educated now. What's up, Frank? Don't you like me now that the little girl's grown up? Now that you can no longer bounce me on Daddy's knee and watch me stare back in wide-eyed wonder at everything he has to say. I'm educated. I've got what you've got, and you don't like it because you'd rather see me as the peasant I once was. Oh, you're like the rest of them. You like to keep your natives thick, because that way they still look charming and delightful. I don't need you. I've got a room full of books. I know what clothes to wear, what wine to buy, what books and papers to read, what plays to see. I can do without you.
Is that all you wanted? Have you come so far for so very, very little?
Oh, it's little to you, isn't it? Little to you who squanders every opportunity and mocks and takes it for granted.
Oh, found a culture, have you, Rita? Found a better song to sing? No, you found a different song, that's all. And on your lips it's pale and hollow and tuneless. Oh, Rita, Rita!
Rita! Rita! Nobody calls me Rita but you! I dropped that pretentious crap as soon as I saw it for what it was. You stupid old... Nobody calls me Rita!
Oh, well, what is it now then, Virginia? Or Charlotte? Or Jane? Or Emily? Works there. Rita White. Just a minute. Susan White. No? Thank you. Thanks. Rita! What? Oh, no, sorry, Susan, yeah. Yeah, look, could you tell her that I what? It's Frank, her tutor. Yeah, look, could you tell her that I've entered her for the exam? Yeah, you see, she doesn't know the details.
Merry Christmas, Frank. Have they sacked you?
Not quite.
Then why are you packing your books away?
Australia. A few weeks back. Made rather a night of it.
Did you bugger the bursar?
Metaphorically. Since it was metaphorical, they reduced the sentence from the sack to 2 years in Australia. Hardly a reduction in sentence, really.
What did Julia say?
Bon voyage.
She's not going with you. Oh, Frank, what are you going to do?
What do you think I'll do? Aussie? It's a paradise for people like me.
Come on, Frank.
It is. Didn't you know they named their favourite drink after a literary figure? Forster's Lager, they call it. Of course, they misspell it, much as you once did.
Be serious.
Why did you come back?
I came to tell you you're a good teacher. Thanks for entering me for the exam.
That's all right. I'd come to realise how much it meant to you.
You didn't want me to take it, though, did you? You would have loved it if I'd written, Frank knows all the answers, across my paper, wouldn't you? I nearly did know. You know, when the invigilator said begin, I turned over my paper with the rest of them. And while they were all scribbling away against the clock, I just sat there, you know, looking at the first question. Do you know what it was, Frank? Suggest ways in which you might cope with some of the staging difficulties in a production of Ibsen's Peer Gynt.
Well, you shouldn't have had much trouble with that.
I did, though. I just sat there, looking at it, and thinking about everything you'd said. And I tried to ignore it, you know, to pretend that you were wrong. Do you think he gave me nothing? Did nothing for me? You think I just ended up with a load of quotes and empty phrases? And I did. But that wasn't your doing. I was so hungry. I wanted it all so much that I didn't want it to be questioned. I told you I was stupid. It's like Trish. You know, my flatmate. I thought she was so cool and together. I got home the other night and she tried to top herself. Magic, isn't it? She spent half her life eating whole foods and health foods to make her live longer, and the other half trying to kill herself. Anyway, I just sat there looking at my paper and thinking about it all. And then I picked up my pen and started.
And you wrote Do It on the radio?
I could have done. And you'd have been dead proud of me if I'd done that and rushed back here to tell you, wouldn't you? But I chose not to. I had a choice. I did the exam.
I know. A good pass as well.
Yeah. And it might be worthless in the end. But I had a choice. I chose. Me. Because of what you've given me, I had a choice. I wanted to come back and tell you that. That you're a good teacher.
I hear good things about Australia. It seems things are just starting there. The thing is, why don't you come too? It'd be good to leave a place that's just finishing for one that's just starting.
Isn't that what you call jumping a sinking ship, Frank?
Probably, but what chance have we got of keeping it afloat?
Oh, hey, Frank. There was threepence back on each of these bottles you could buy, Australia.
You're being evasive.
I know. Tiger's asked me to go down to France with his mob.
Will you go?
I don't know. He's a bit of a wanker, really. But I've never been abroad. And my mother's invited me to hers for Christmas.
Oh, well, what will you do?
I don't know. I might go to France. I might go to my mother's. I might even have a baby. I'll choose. I'll make a decision. I don't know.
Well, whatever you decide, you might as well have this.
What is it?
It's a dress. I bought it some time ago for an educated woman friend of mine. Oh, I've no idea whether it'll fit. I was rather pissed at the time.
An educated woman, Frank. And is this what you call a scholarly neckline?
Well, in choosing it, I put more emphasis on the word woman than the word educated.
All I've ever done is take from you. I've never given you anything.
That's not true.
It is true. I never thought there was anything I could give you. But there is. Come here, Frank.
What?
Come here. Sit on that. Sit! I'm gonna take 10 years off you.
Ow!
I think she'll be quite on. Well, exactly. You can't put champagne.
Oh, I found a bottle.
Clarice, has it come to this?
Shit, thank you.
I love you all, but I really
Sorry? Yeah, well, we certainly did more than usual. How was the video, Chris? I want to know who was videoing last time. Drink up anybody?
Yeah.
Thank you very much.
You sure?
Thank you.
Come on. She wasn't sure.
Who's not here? Who's not here? Where's Morton?
Barry. Morton's here.
Oh, there you are.
Cheers.
Mm.
How about one
Jim?
for me?
Well, come and
Just
get
come
one
and
then.
get one, you miserable.
Okay,
Then you have to hold it right in front of the camera.
like that.
This was the first night
Brilliant.
where we did
Robin?
everything right.
Come on.
You notice that?
Yeah.
More or less, yeah.
Alistair.
We had 10
What do you
days.
mean?
Ira, do you want to drink?
More or less. It worked
You mean you haven't got glasses enough?
But actually, the one we backstage had to rely on was really Robin. And she did a good job.
Yes, she was brilliant.
Yeah.
Where's Alistair and Claire?
We're in the back.
Alistair?
Alistair, Claire. You guys,
What about
Victor, Barry? Barry?
Barry?
Dennis? Oh, right, is he? Where is he? Well, come, bring him in.
Hey, Dennis! Dennis!
That newspaper down there.
Dennis!
Oh, it's hair director.
Hair today,
Hair director.
gone tomorrow.
Oh, yes.
There is actually a song performed by a Danish soul band named Tap Tap, which says, "Don't judge a man by the cut of his hair."
Oh,
Champagne.
yeah. I know, very quiet. Drinks, have we got any more glasses?
No, I got a dozen. I thought it was enough.
Yeah, we have, out the back.
Went so well tonight.
Oh.
Let's do another thing nice, shall we?
Yeah.
I thought it was great.
I want to say, before the party tomorrow, thank you to everybody, without any discrimination, for allowing me to do this show. Thank you.
Congratulations.
Pleasure.
Who hasn't got a drink? Come and have a drink. Grab it. I mean, don't be shy. Just take. Look at it all. What? What? Oh dear. Oh well, never mind.
Have a glass of champagne.
Champagne.
Cheap sparkling, is it?
Ooh.
It'll be gone. It'll be gone.
It doesn't matter too much.
By the way, I have a George bag. Just take a mine.
Oh, no. Relax.
Pout, baby, pout.